Do you know what an orphanage sounds like when every baby is fed and they're changed and they're medically cared for, but they're not held or nurtured or emotionally seen? Silence. Not peace, but a haunting quiet. In early orphanages where there were too many babies and not enough caretakers, babies who cried and received no response eventually stopped crying altogether. Their medical needs were met, but their need to be seen was not. Our humanity requires rooting in the gaze of one another. Without it, the ground gives way and we drift, and with it, we stand strong and we belong. And though my mind is on all things babies these days, I'm not here to just talk about babies and institutions. I'm here to talk about us, about all of us, about beauty and belonging and the ethics of being seen. Because that silence echoes in our lives today. In classrooms, in hallways, and even in our own homes. I first felt it when I was spoken to by a girl with no words. She held up her palm, faced it towards me, and said this silently: "I love you." This was a silent gesture, but this girl didn't need ears to be heard. This was my very first prosthetic patient, and I had just applied new ears to her. And in that moment, she was feeling seen. And it also revealed to me a deeper truth very early on, that as a clinical anaplastologist, what I restore isn't just about anatomy, it's about identity, and it's about belonging. My work isn't only about replacing what's missing, it's about remembering someone. Yes, remembering a dismembered part of the body, but also allowing them to reclaim parts of themselves, piece by piece. In my work, I do not fix, I listen. I work with wax and pigment and with silicone and with lots of patience. I fashion eyes and noses and ears for people who are missing them due to trauma or cancer or difference from birth. And when my work is good, it is invisible. But when we take a look at this work from a wider lens, we see that it is not new. Humanity has always been using objects to bridge the gap between ourselves and the world. And masks, much like the ones that I make today, tell us that story. Throughout history, masks were not about disguise. They were actually about transformation. They allowed us to commune with gods and with ancestors and with each other. And so too with prosthetics. A prosthesis is not about concealment. It is a modern ritual object that allows someone to be transformed, to come back into the world, not as a patient, but as a person. So clinically, we must stop just asking, does this look symmetrical? And start asking, does it restore dignity? Are we seeing the person in the chair in front of us? Are we listening and not just creating a function? A successful result clinically isn't found in perfection. It's found in listening and seeing them. So now I want to challenge you in your own vocations, in your own day-to-day lives, of when you might be meeting the needs of someone but not truly seeing them. When are we, quote unquote, leaving the baby? Others' needs may be met, but are they truly feeling seen? This shows up whenever we maybe walk past a coworker who doesn't speak loudly, or whenever we rush to reply instead of truly listening to someone's response. Or maybe it's when we avoid someone who looks sick or unhoused or different because it makes us uncomfortable. And these moments may seem small, but these are the moments of not seeing. And belonging dies in the places where we don't see each other. So what does it mean to see? To truly see someone? I think the answer to this lies actually in our definition of beauty. but not the beauty that you've been sold, the beauty that's bound up in dignity and in belonging. In medicine, as in the rest of the world, beauty is often dismissed as vanity, as if survival is enough and as if function alone creates healing. But remember the babies. Their medical needs were met, but their belonging was not, and they failed to thrive. They died. So beauty cannot be vanity. Beauty is being seen. And if beauty is being seen, and the cost of being seen is life or death, then beauty cannot be vanity. Beauty is dignity. Beauty is belonging, and belonging is a human right. The psychosocial benefits of a prosthetic nose far outweigh its medical function. Truly seeing someone without apology is a clinical outcome. It's a public health intervention, and it's heavy, sacred work. So perhaps the question isn't, is beauty a human right? But what is beauty? And who taught you to see it that way? Sit with that for a moment. What if beauty is just the courage to be seen? What if it lives in the lines that we've earned, in the ways that we've stretched, in the parts of ourselves that we've reclaimed, or the ways that we show up for one another when the world falls short? Because when we expand our definition of beauty, we expand the circle of who belongs, including ourselves. In a world shaped by image and beauty standards, our bodies are trained to flinch when we see someone with a difference, especially in the face. But here's the thing. Trying to change that by just reading more books or being better isn't something that we can do, because bias actually doesn't live in our good intentions. It doesn't live in our thoughts at all. It lives in the body. We cannot think our way out of what we must feel our way through. Resmaa Menakem is an author, and he actually studied the bias between Black and Blue lives in America. And he coined this term, somatic abolitionism. It's healing our reflexive response to bias, not through debate, but through the body. If the stimulus of difference lives in the body, then some must the repair. So let's practice some things that we can take home to root ourselves in our own bodies and eliminate bias. They may seem silly, but these are the things that do the work on our involuntary nervous system, and they actually work. The first thing you can do is hum. It taps into your vagal nerve and elicits calm. The next thing you can do is breathe. Long exhales restore balance. The next thing you can do is ground. Name what you see, what you hear, what you feel. Touch. You can place a hand on your heart or your belly. Your heart releases oxytocin. Know that you're supported. Witness. Stay with someone's space instead of looking away. Let your body learn a new response. Hum, breathe, ground, touch, witness. Let your body learn to unlearn. So here's what I want to offer you now, is just an exercise that we can all do together. Let's put some of these into practice. I'm going to ask you to all close your eyes, and we're just going to take a deep breath together. First, I want you to just feel the weight of your body in the pew and just arrive in this moment. And we're going to inhale. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I want you to keep your eyes closed and think of a time you saw someone with a facial difference. Maybe it was in this presentation, maybe it was a long time ago. I want you to place your hand on your heart and just think about where you feel that in your body. Maybe it's your chest or your tummy or your fingertips. Maybe it feels tight or tense or tingly. Maybe you flinched. Maybe you looked away. And that's okay, because this is where the work begins. Now just breathe into that space, into your body. Now I want you to think about seeing that person again, not to fix, not to pity, but just see. Just witness. Okay, you can open your eyes. And I know it's dark in here, but I want you to gaze at someone next to you. I want you to notice their face, their wholeness, their sacred map of their body, of their face. And you don't have to say anything. I just want you to see them. Tap into their body. Put your feet in their shoes and tap into what they might be feeling right now. And you can say inwardly, difference is not a threat. Difference is invitation. When our bodies learn to stay, to witness instead of react, we don't just restore each other, we restore ourselves. And this too is the work of remembering. Remembering others, yes, but also remembering ourselves. Because the cost of not remembering, the cost of not seeing, is the same cost we began with. It's failure to thrive. But when we remember each other and ourselves, we do more than survive. We belong, we grow, we are seen, and we thrive. And from all we know, from the very beginning, seeing and being seen is the root of life, of love, and belonging. The root of it all. Thank you.